Hello all, and welcome to the zoo.
Why am I here?
Minions of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribelite, Some Dumb American, and their joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late-night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Rejekt PPC and the one-ton hammer, the group rotates hosts known as Zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I'm your host for this evening, One Ton Hammer.
I will be your zookeeper tonight, Rejekt.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am TheLuckyPoptart.
Inquisitor, Sanguine.
Skep Tock.
I'm Prospero.
And I'm Delahazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions, and special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Let's be xenophobic, it's really in this year. Let's find a nasty, slimy, ugly alien to fear. There's no more cutesy stories about E.T. phoning home. Let's learn to love our neighbors like the Christians learned in Rome. We know we ought to hate them, they're different, you see. We've seen they're mean and ugly on movies and TV. The folks that ought to know have told us how it's got to be. The gospel truth is found in scenes from Alien and V. Let's wipe out any life form that seems to be a threat. We'll serve them up a genocide they never will forget. 'Cause if we miss a couple, they'll breed a couple more. And soon we'll all be hating twice as many as before. 'Cause the aliens can never be as good as humankind. A more delightful race than us you'll never ever find. So step aside, you star slime, we're ready for your worst. We know you want to beat us, enslave us and defeat us, oppress us and browbeat us unless we get you first.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the zoo. I'm your zookeeper for tonight, Inquisitor. Minions joining me are Eeyore.
Evening.
And Mr. Adam.
Hello.
And how are you gentlemen this evening?
Doing good.
That's good, that's good. So I'm going to be working on my Weirdboy today, as the title of the video suggests. I got some grots to paint and then some other stuff to do to the model before getting it on the base and painting the base and getting all of that stuff done. You may even see some other sides of the hobby, like I will be, gluing and assembling, but also I will be using some modeling putty this time around as well to try and help the model sit properly in its base. I have to take all these steps because he's a resin model, and resin sucks, but here we are, got to deal with it.
To continue the conversation from before the intro, Canada's total BIPOC population, this is including Aboriginals and Asians, 14%, according to 2016 census.
Okay. But that's across the entire country, right?
Yeah, that's the entire country, everything that's not of European ancestry.
Gotcha.
As opposed to the US, which is what, 20% at least?
I would venture maybe more. I mean, weren't there projections like white people would be in the minority by 20... I can't remember. It's like it was well within like 40 years. But I mean, the major thing about all this kind of shit that's going on is I still ascribe to the whole thing that I was taught when I was growing up, which is race won't be an issue if you don't make it an issue. And to, you know, just kind of shun the people that do.
Nearly double that of Canada, 27%.
27% what?
Are not of European ancestry.
Oh, okay.
U.S. nationwide, I think 2018. Uh, 2017, but besides the point.
Gotcha. Either way, I mean, none of this shit really matters. I mean, I've brought this up several times to people that have said things about, you know, racism here in Chicago. I'm like, there has never been a job that I have worked where the majority of the people that have worked with me have not either been, and my supervisors too, have either been women or Hispanic in origin. And none of it has ever really been an issue. I have never cared. None of it has really mattered. And yet people would sit there and say having that kind of cavalier attitude towards it and not acknowledging it is problematic in some sort of way. I don't see it. I do not see it. Fuck that mentality.
They keep making money by making the issue apparent.
Yeah, well, trying to force the issue. I got this one fray fucking bristle on this brush. It's pissing me off. But I just think I need to scrap this brush and get one of my spares. Gotta try and cover up all this white here. I'm covering up the white. I'm eliminating whiteness on my grot here in favor of the green.
But you're painting him as an orc, a very, very aggressive, rapidly breeding war race.
Yes. Well, obviously that references white people because I mean, you know, they've got the British accents. They act like soccer hooligans. All white people things. I mean, we're not talking D&D orcs here. Those are clearly black. If Extra Credits has anything to say about it, at least. Hey, I'm just gonna go on record here. Fuck that guy. All of his opinions are garbage, and everyone should unsubscribe from his channel. He's a worthless content creator. Come at me, Susan. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Cunt.
To add a slight nuance to all this, most of Extra Credits bullshit occurred after a changeover in hosting, and I think a lot of the back end changed in early 2019. The stuff before that rarely touches on this stuff, and it's actually okay content. But the recent stuff, nope.
Do not care.
You know,
What's up, Adam?
I'm gonna be very interested to see the change on a lot of these like YouTube channel or creators, because I guess like H3 also are like you know, Ethan Klein seemingly went through a drastic change, and all it's reminding me, and I don't know if it's because I sank back into a pothole of this goofy conspiracy theory, but when the Beatles changed from Sgt. Pepper on, you know, they went to their psychedelic phase, and so I'm wondering, is this how a lot of these YouTubers are going to be looking at themselves? Like they were one way, and it got them to popularity, and then all of a sudden they just like, no, actually, I wanted to try this artistic style, and then this is my Sgt. Pepper shit. It's like, get the fuck out of here, Billy Shears. You fucking...
To be fair, we need to have one of them die and then pretend like it didn't happen. You know, like Paul McCartney.
Hey, I didn't say it this time.
Hey, you know what? I personally say, you know what? You know who I elect to die and then act like he's still alive? Jake Paul.
As far as on YouTube is concerned, he already did.
Well, no, he didn't take a hit. Are you kidding me? If anything, he's more popular than ever.
I haven't seen anything from him, and
oh, dude, he even went to jail when he was starting to participate in the LA riots last year. You know, you would think that strike number 1 would have been the fucking suicide forest thing, and strike number 2 would be the fact that he was arrested in fucking LA for participating in the riots. Nope. It's every day, bro. For eternity.
Damn.
Fuck that faggot, man. I don't give a shit.
To add another bit of nuance to that, blame the Disney Family Channel programming for that one.
Oh, I blame Disney all the time. I've never not held nothing but utter contempt for the mouse.
The mouse is a mixed bag.
No, fuck the mouse. There's never been anything good that came out from Disney. Period.
Oi!
Nothing. Ever.
So you're just going to refuse to acknowledge the mouse's impact on visual media as a whole?
I would say that when you compare all the stuff, except for the extreme early days of Disney, when Uncle Walt was still alive, even though he was a horrible anti-Semite, everything, in my opinion, was done better elsewhere. Disney is not the monolithic staple that it wants everyone to think it is for culture. Especially when it comes to animation. Chuck Jones is a way better animator. I don't think he did anything with Disney. I think it was just MGM and Warner Brothers.
Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jones didn't work with Disney.
Unless they got his start as a cell illustrator at Disney, no.
Well, there were a lot of those. That's where a lot of the guys that went to work at Warner Brothers and Termite Terrace came from. They came from Walt Disney, simply because Disney fucked over their animators so horribly that they all decided, fuck you, collectively, and jumped ship to other companies.
A lot of Disney animators had a certain fluidity to them, so you could tell right off the bat. The other ones, they kind of pointed towards different avenues in terms of the animation field, like you look at some of Tex Avery's early animation stuff. You know, it's different than what you would see in like a Disney animation film.
Well, Tex Avery was in that transitionary period, wasn't he? And where a lot of cartoons were getting out of the theaters and into the homes with TV. He
yeah.
wasn't doing.
No,
he
yeah.
wasn't doing film shorts or anything like that, was he?
No, he was towards the end of that. Yeah, because I think he worked a lot with MGM.
Yeah, I think he did too. Yeah, he's the one that created things like Droopy Dog, right? He did a lot of Tom and Jerry, I think. Did he?
Yeah, he did a lot of the like the outlandish physical humor in terms of cartoon stuff.
Looking back, Looney Tunes / Merry Melodies and Tom and Jerry would be his biggest applications to animation.
He did Looney Tunes too, huh?
Later on, the original run was more of an assistant role than a major role.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. I should look into what cartoons he worked on. And say he's also Canadian, ain't he?
I mean, we try not to talk about that, but
I'm just saying, it's.
No. Born Spokane, Washington.
Oh, okay. That's close enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We don't want Washington and Oregon.
But apparently a lot of Canadians do want Washington and Spokane and Oregon.
I mean, it's already up that area anyway, so might as well.
Just jump right over the border.
Yes, I am aware of the Cascadian movement. Unfortunately, 4 of its 5 hypothetical industrial sectors and about half of its land, all of its agricultural land, I mind you, wouldn't be able to join Cascadia because, well, the last time states tried to leave the Union.
Well, no, I'm not talking about states leaving the Union. I'm talking about Canadians coming over the border here to the States. I mean, you guys are almost as bad as Mexicans. God! No.
Hey!
I'm fucking around.
As much as I like Florida, I don't want to be compared to fence hoppers.
Not so many fence hopping around Florida. Maybe some swimming.
Yeah, some
people
boating from Cuba.
Yeah.
Some rafting, some whitewater rafting.
Come on, get your immigrants right.
I thought I did have my immigrants right.
Well, not all, south of the border is the same, New York. Come on.
As far as land border is concerned, there is just one country to the south.
Well, land borders. There's the key differentiation.
Yes, there is a sea border between Bermuda, which is more a eastern border than a south one, the Bahamas, and Cuba.
Well, there's also, people can come in from, like, Venezuela via boat.
The Venezuelans can stay where they are and have their own little counter-revolution.
Well, that may be a good thing, as then maybe it might make some of the bread tubers shut up, but you and I both know that's never going to happen.
There's only...
I'm just throwing shade all night tonight. Fuck everyone. I don't give a shit.
People who have studied communism and still advocate for it are just in it for the money.
Wait. Are you calling Bosch a grifter?
Yep.
How very dare you? All right. Just
I ain't gonna take any bullshit on it either.
Just because he is perfectly fine with taking sponsorship deals because he lives in a capitalist society doesn't mean that he needs to, try to live his principles or anything.
I hate to say it, but a person who does actually live their principles has more respect for me, even if they're economically backward.
What are you talking about? He's perfectly fine. He's perfectly fine.
God, no. If he's this great debating madman and has a principled argument, why would he never debate someone with a lower subscriber count than him?
Oh,
At the time.
See, here's the thing, right? Okay, he hasn't found an ethical reason to criminalize child pornography. All right. It just doesn't exist. All right? There's no ethical reason.
The level of exploitation.
Whoa.
By the way, these are actual arguments that Vosh has made on streams.
Yeah. And
how does anyone take that guy seriously?
They make my brain hurt.
Mr. Yes asking if would I rather hear TJ Kirk, aka the Amazing Atheist, talk politics? No, I wouldn't. He's just as dumb.
A lot of them are idiots.
Alright. That looks like an earring, so I'm gonna have to paint that. Okay. And do some cleanup on him. He's such a small model!
Funny thing with all these commie supporters, I think they have misread the idea that's happened several times. Typically those who do the revolution or support the person actually doing the moving end up, and I'll use the most famous example here, with a nice pick in the back of their head.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, the whole useful idiots and up against the wall sort of thing. The thing that I always love to hear is whenever they say liberals get the bullet too. Just showing that people, like me, hey, Vosh, whatever, I don't give a fuck however the pronounce this idiot's name. He's not your friend. Never was, never will be. If you have any sort of idea about individual liberty or freedoms, focusing on the individual, having that sort of level of liberalism in your ideas and in your politics, there's no camaraderie with the bread tube and with Vosh and with any of those guys. They say you get the bullet too, so don't defend them.
Yeah, if only more people took up that advice with a lot more than just the commies.
What a wonderful world this would be.
The more I think about it, the more I agree that why should the cops stick their neck out when, well, Derek Chauvin and this other cop lady are perfect examples of why you shouldn't.
Well, the major problem is that being a cop is an extremely thankless job, and it's very hard to boot too, because there's going to be plenty of people who look at your actions in the aftermath and talk about how you went wrong, but not know the details of what was going on at the time that facilitated your actions as being, in your mind, necessary. Now, does that excuse police brutality? Does that excuse the behavior of some of these cops? Fuck no. No. If you're a psychopath and you have a badge, you know, if you come up to someone with your gun barrel engraved with "you're fucked" and give him conflicting orders, just looking to mag dump on that trigger and murder a man, then you are a scumbag and don't deserve to not only, you know, not have a badge, but not live either. I seriously maintain that cop should be swinging from the fucking rafters. Fuck that cop. But I have a lot of sympathy for some of the ones that are just trying to do their job and are, you know, thrust into these horrible, horrible situations. I have a lot of sympathy. But, you know, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback and not, you know, go and do the job yourself.
Exactly.
So that's a lot of perspective that needs to be had.
This is why I hold to the opinion, when something like this happens, go to the experts. If it has to be third party, another department, another state, so be it. But someone who knows this thing in and out and understands that in the moment, seeing a glint out of someone's waistband or from under the coat means, oh shit, if I wait a second, I might die.
Yeah.
It's never as clear as that.
No. I would say the major thing again is I think that a lot of these people who probably should get more harsh treatment don't, and then some of the ones that deserve consideration don't get it from the masses. You know, there's a level of protect your own amongst cops that facilitates the bad actors, and then there's a level of outrage for the outcome that the public doesn't understand that causes good cops to get thrown out with the, you know, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. So it's a nasty problem that cannot be easily solved, and I think it really does come down to the fact that we need far more reform when it comes to the actions that police take, and we also need far more education and outreach when it comes to the police and their interactions with the community. I've been saying that for forever, is that the major problem with a lot of areas, especially areas where there's a lot of black-on-black violence and crime, is that there needs to be more community outreach. There needs to be more cops that are going around befriending kids in the neighborhood rather than looking to bust them.
It sounds like you're advocating for, instead of a precinct controlling I don't know how much, that's subdivided into teams of 2 or 4 that just cover a couple of blocks, you know, your corner policeman.
Yeah, and I say, whatever happened to the beat policeman? Everyone now has squad cars and they don't feel a need to connect with their community.
Like, I would really appreciate, you know, along the street or two, you know, one cop is okay in their car a lot of the time, but otherwise walking around, playing ball at the park with other teens and whatnot, and being a part of that street.
It's that we get so dispassionate when there's such a wide and such a wide gulf between people that, when you're looking at an authority figure who is there to intimidate, at least that's the general public consensus, then there's not going to be a whole lot of sympathy for them. Humanize people rather than fucking segregate and deny.
Mm-hmm. Make that cop a person, not a badge, a gun, and a hat.
Mm-hmm. And likewise, I think that would also help, because that would mean that the cop sees people as people, not potential targets or potential
or potential threats.
Or potential threats. Yes. There's a little level of bad faith on both of these parts that people just don't seem to acknowledge. And it's frustrating, too. I'm not saying
neither
that
side are willing to reconcile and make a clear attempt at reestablishing the old frontier sheriff type connection.
Yeah. And I say the major thing that's frustrating about it too is that, like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I have all the answers or anything like that, or that this would solve the problem, but it can't hurt, can it?
No. I mean, reducing a cop and his partner down to like 2, 3, 4 blocks maximum area.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a lot of pressure off of the 2 police officers, and sure, add 2 more in more troublesome neighborhoods. Okay.
That are trying to do the same thing too. Establish a community
and if need be, if something serious going on, and then call in the city PD sort of situation.
Yeah. And you would sit there and say, well, that's, some people would say, that's the whole thing about social workers. Put more social workers, less cops. No, I don't think that's the issue at all. It's the fact that no one trusts any level of authority at all, whether it's social worker or police. And the fact that a social worker is going in without the training to try and de-escalate. Now, I'm not saying every cop tries to de-escalate. Some cops try to escalate rather than de-escalate. Again, I need to keep on bringing up that one faggot in Arizona, I think it was, with "you're fucked" engraved on his barrel. Psychopaths like that should have been weeded out from the start. He should never have gotten on the force.
Should have never passed his psych eval.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another way that policing could be improved. Greater psychological evaluations and a much more robust internal affairs system.
Yeah. Someone that actually holds police accountable rather than, protects them with the thin blue line.
Mm-hmm.
Or protects bad actors. And say, protect the good cops, all day, every day. But the bad actors need to be called out and punished for the things that they do.
Yeah, I've always said, hey, if you had a shit situation, there was no good way out of it, okay. But if you were egging it on, no, get the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. Mr. S says cops shouldn't be on steroids. There also shouldn't be double XL size police uniforms. Just saying. The physical fitness of police runs the gambit, man. There's no standardization for police physical fitness.
I thought police did have a physical fitness minimum.
In the academy.
But as soon as they're through that, they're
not required. They're not the army, as much as, you know, they do carry around some army hardware and so on and so forth. They're not the army. They don't have a minimum standard to uphold. Again, my whole thing is just, yeah, community outreach is the major thing. You know, have the police be out there helping the community. You know, serve and protect, right? The actual goal of the police. All right, so we've got this dude. He just needs to be inked. Then this needs to be glued into that. And then this needs to be glued onto this chain here. This needs to be glued into this. This needs to be painted. And then I need to, modeling putty this pin into that hole. No, that hole.
having fun with Finecast.
Yeah. I say this is the major problem. These resin models are always a bitch because you have so much work to do on them.
Well, it's one of the fancy character models, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized too late for the Phobos captain. He has his helmet on the belt.
Oh, so he's got two helmets?
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, well, that's fine. Just have a sergeant without one. So he's carrying his sergeants. Trying to find him on the battlefield to you know, reprimand him.
Yes, you forgot your helmet. I'm going to prove why you need this helmet.
Uh-huh. I'd say that's another thing I've been doing too, is all of my Space Marines, since I've been going about reworking them, all of them have helmets now. With the exception of the one Captain Smashfucker that I built, because he didn't come with one. Yeah, I've taken to giving my models helmets, even though, you know, sergeants by and large in 40k usually don't have helmets for some strange reason. I guess sergeants are supposed to be such badasses that they don't they eschew normal battlefield safety requirements and don't use all of their gear. With the exception of my Imperial Guard. My Imperial Guard, I still leave them without their helmet because I like that one. Plus, he's got the big comm headset on the unhelmeted sergeant head, which I think looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now we wait for that.
Not to mention Imperial Guard flak helmets. 2 pounds are useless.
Well, I mean, they're not gonna. They might stop a las bolt. They might stop a stubber round. They might stop a. They may even prevent your head from blowing up on the first shot from a bolter. Might, you know, cause it to, you know, spang off and you know, fly out somewhere else and blow up somewhere else. But comparatively speaking to actual armor, yeah, the flak helmet is pretty useless.
Yeah.
All I gotta say, okay, right here, this guy right here, this is Zork, right? Imperial Guardsman is more protected than he is.
Well, the Orc has a lot more muscle.
Yes, but he only has a 6+ save.
Don't Orcs have 6+? What?
Yes, Orcs only have a 6+ save. Why else do you think I'm putting all of them in vehicles?
God, Orcs are bad.
No, they're not. They're perfectly fine. Let's say, here's the thing, right? what do you get? And how many points is a single orc boy? Compare it to a space marine.
8 points for...
They're 8 points a model. I've got a shooter, which is an 18-inch assault 2 bolter, essentially. It's strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. Each orc has 2 attacks. What do you have to do to get 2 attacks as a space marine? You have to take an intercessor.
Charge.
Well, you have to take an intercessor. And how many points are an intercessor?
20.
I can take 2 orcs and get double the number of attacks. Then you take 1 intercessor. And I get 2 guns, and you get 1. Starting to see the appeal of orcs now? Not only that, is that there's also a stratagem called Mordaka. When you shoot with an orc on a 6 to hit, you get to roll another shot. If you do Mordaka, which is a 2 command point stratagem, that's a 5 or a 6. Orcs only hit on 5s, so every single shot that hits generates extra shots.
Yes, still 5 plus ballistic skill and a 6 plus save.
You can fuck shit up with orcs, man. I have sat there and run shootings between 10 Imperial Guardsmen with a plasma gun, given first rank fire, second rank fire, and orcs, just regular orcs with a boss knob. And more often than not, the orcs weather the first rank fire, second rank fire, and then completely annihilate the guardsmen in 1 round of shooting.
Orcs shouldn't be able to survive 36 last shots with a 6 plus save.
It's the fact that guardsmen only hit on a 4. That's the problem. And they only wound on a 5. They hit on 4s and wound on 5s. Whereas the orcs hit on 5s and wound on 3s.
Right. There's also 30 more points in the 10 orcs. No, 20 because of plas gun. No, not even 20. More than 20.
Well, let's see here. Hold on. They're 8 points a model. So it'd be 80 for 10. Versus 55 plus 5, 60. So 20 more points for the orcs.
That 20 points... Yeah, I can get a command squad worth for that. And they hit on 3s.
Yeah. I mean, I can sit there and run the test for you. I'll make a video. Fuck it. I can make a video on that.
I'm just saying it hasn't been balanced for points.
I'm just saying that the orcs are surprisingly better at doing this whole shooting thing than you might think. Not to mention also you have stuff like this. This is the shock rifle on the shock jump dragsta. You can see right here, it's got a target and squig, and it's got a grot gunner. So this thing hits on a 3. It's an orc shooting weapon that hits on a 3.
And being a shotgun, I don't even want to talk about its ammunition.
No, it's not a shotgun. It's a shock gun.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is
because it's a shotgun.
Yeah. It's designed to kill tanks.
I already know what shotguns are.
So. And I say, man, you come down for Adepticon sometime. I will show you how good my orcs can be.
Against what and when?
Well, it would have to be next year because Adepticon's already gone, passed, and canceled.
Cancelled.
But yeah, your guard, your space marines, whatever you want to bring, I'll gladly face it with my orcs, and I'll win, because orcs is never beat.
Okay, Mr. 6+ save.
As again, that's the reason why I put them all in vehicles. Truck has a 4+ armor save. So yeah, you can pierce it, but at the same time, when you do with your battle cannon, I can sit there and say, okay, I roll a d6, and on a 6, I reduce the damage from that battle cannon to 1.
2 or by 1?
2-1. Las cannon!
Christ.
I hit, I wound, I roll 6 damage! I roll a 6. Nope, it does 1 damage. Gotta love Ramshackle. It's such a great rule.
Yeah, more crap.
And then I return fire with my own battle cannon. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get out some of the putty to use on this, and then whatever's left over I will use on my roommate's Chaos Blood Bowl army, or team.
Oh yes, that other game.
I need to fill in some gaps in their bases with it, so. Still gotta wait for this to dry, for the ink to dry. I say, seriously, Adam, we gotta get you in a couple of games.
What would Adam even play?
Well, it's up to him. Whatever he thinks looks coolest. But, yeah.
Hey, Donkey, if you come down here, I will gladly join the game.
Sweet.
It's not like I don't have plenty of armies he can use.
Yeah, meanwhile, I need to get more Razorbacks. I don't know why. I've just fallen in love with the Razorback.
Razorback is a great model. I love the Razorback. I'll say it used to be pretty garbage, especially in 8th edition, but it's since really come into its own with the points reductions for 9th.
Like, with a twin last cannon, what is it? Like 150 points?
I don't even think 150. I think it's like 105. Let me see.
With a twin LC.
Yeah. It's fairly... it might be like 120 at the most. It's fairly cheap. Let's see here.
120 according to Waha.
Why did I put a Vindicare assassin there? What the fuck? Alright, there we go. Okay, so it's 115 base with the twin heavy bolter. Adding the twin las cannon adds 10, so yeah, it would be oh no, sorry. It's 110 base. Adding 10 to the
120.
120. And then you can add 5 points to get a storm bolter.
Which, who wouldn't?
Yeah. For a 5-point upgrade, yeah, it's well worth it.
Like, honestly, you could do mechanized space marines with twin last cannon Razorbacks and a couple of Raider Crusaders.
Yeah. And I say, if you want to go that deep into Firstborn, yeah, that's a perfect transport list. Rhinos have their place. I'm just a little dubious on how good they are versus how good they were. Blood Angels back in the day
Give them a heavy bolter.
Huh?
give the rhino a heavy bolter. That would help.
You can't. Well, you can't give a rhino a heavy bolter.
I know. That's what I'm suggesting to.
To fix it. Okay. No, I just think this should be cheaper. That's it. Just put them on par with a chimera. Then it'd be fine. They're more expensive than a chimera with way less armament. Their only real purpose is to shelter Space Marines from artillery. And unfortunately, the Impulsor is just better at it than a rhino.
Pulsar, unfortunately, doesn't carry Firstborn.
No. I'm saying the reason why the Impulsor is better is because it can move and still have the troops inside disembark. All right. Well, I think it's time
I'm not
to
even
start...
going to talk.
I think it's time to start gluing here.
I'm not going to talk about the Repulsor because its main anti-tank option is the Last Talon.
And we all know my opinions on the Last Talon. It's garbage. Because it is.
It's a Strength 9 multi-melta.
And you would be better served with a multi-melta than a Strength 9 a 24-inch las cannon.
Agreed.
Alright, here we go. I'm gonna put him right in there like that. And then take this piece and fit it right there. There we go. So then now I just got to worry about doing some cleanup after this hardens. Because it's going to frost. I'm just hoping it doesn't frost too much. Well, there we go. There's the first grot trying to hold him down in place.
I'm actually getting more interested in this sort of mechanized list for Marines.
Mechanized works. That was my primary list back in the day when I originally ran Blood Angels. Was I would mount everything in rhinos. Again, mainly because with rhinos you could move and disembark and assault. And as a Blood Angel, that's what you want to do.
Definitely.
Now the only real way to do that is to take assault intercessors in a impulsor. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to do eventually. I've got the assault intercessors, I just need to get the impulsor. But that's going to be a pretty big point-heavy investment to do that. So... I say, here's the big thing, right? Because this is not exactly flat. I'm going to use some of the putty here to flatten this out when it's on the base. So that way it will sit sort of, evenly on the base and not have these big old gaps underneath. This will be glued in, and this will be filled in with the other leftover of the putty, and also glued into place, so he will be very secure on his base. It will be real nice. Just gotta wait for him to dry. Once he's dry, I can do all that, and then glue him next to the chain and onto the base, and then paint the base. Well, I'd have to wait for the glue to dry there, but then I can go offline and do that, offline.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Yes asked what my thoughts on the Fast and Furious 9. I haven't watched any of the Fast and Furious, man. I've never really been all that interested in the Fast and Furious movies.
Remember a couple weeks ago I was having a lot of issues with Battlescribe?
Mm-hmm.
It were to clear out my data for Gmail, update a Google background app, and that was it.
Oh. What?
The issue somehow was Gmail and this background Google app.
Huh. On a PC or on your phone?
Phone.
Really? It's weird. I've never had to do anything.
It was due to a Android update.
Oh. Okay. That's really weird.
Happens. But either way, I got it cleared out.
That's good. That's good. So then you can still keep on theory hammering it out, huh?
Yes. Increasing the list of armies I want to build. It's so addictive to theory hammer.
Yeah? Yeah. I would say, I think it's even more fun to play the game. That's my whole thing. I personally love getting the models out, getting them all arranged on the table, and actually throwing dice and playing the game. That's always way more fun to me. The problem is that it takes two to tango, and sometimes schedules take a while to get overlapped so that you can actually throw dice. It sucks, but it has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't wait to play an actual game with my orcs. I've been assembling and painting my orcs for a while now, and I've never played a game with them.
What, get stuck in an orky?
Get stuck in with the boys.
Sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I really, really want to play my games with my boys. I think that'll be a really fun army. Just waiting for paint to dry. I'm so sorry, folks. This is so entertaining, I know. This is part of the hobby.
A truly enthralling part of the hobby.
Yes. I mean, I could be painting some grots while I wait. I guess I'll do that. Set you aside. Set you aside. Because I got my little blue gits here to do. I think he's pretty much done. He just needs to be inked. Oh wait, I need to touch up his fingernail. I say it kind of sucks. He's very, very low quality right now, but I know he's going to look way better after I give him an ink job. Giggity, I know, but you know. I don't think I need to give him any bronze or anything like that. Oh, I need to give him some brown.
To switch to wolves for a second, I just thought of a weird unit. Due to the fact that Swift Claws can actually have 2 special weapons in the squad plus a combi on the Wolf Guard if you choose to take one.
Mm-hmm.
150 points, 6 chain swords, 2 plasmas can be Melta's grabs, whatever, and a combi plasma Melta grab. Line it up with the 2 specials.
Okay.
You know, it's...
I personally have never really been a big proponent of putting special weapons in assault squads. If you're going to put any sort of special weapon in an assault squad, you're probably better served by giving them plasma pistols. Because those are guns that are going to be completely useless when the unit gets into close combat with those chain swords, which is its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Better served by putting those plasma guns or melta guns or anything like that in something like Vanguard veterans.
Yes. Or Wolf Guard in my case.
Yeah. I'll say they're essentially the same thing, only condensed. I'll say the Wolf Guard are Vanguard and Stern Guard veterans all in one.
Without the cheap combi weapons that Stern Guard get, fuck you, GW.
That's fine.
I don't want to pay an extra 5 points for combi weapon.
Well, you gotta pay...
That's 25.
You gotta pay points in some sort of way, because you also got Wolfen to look at, Thunderwolf Cavalry, stuff that's unique to the Space Wolves. So you gotta take some lumps in other ways. I know Blood Angels used to not be able to take things like Centurions with Blood Angels, but again, why would I want to? I didn't really like the Centurion models very much. I didn't really like the Centurions look very much, so it was no skin off my nose to say, hey, you can't take Centurions. Oh no, a unit I wasn't going to take anyway.
What am I going to do?
I love this one. He got a big old goofy smile. Look at him. He got a big old goofy smile. Big old gap-toothed goofy smile. He's part of my lucky blue gits. Is that some brown that I see there on the base of his skull? I'm gonna have to touch that up, unfortunately. Shit! Oh well. I think I can do it now. Shouldn't muck things up too much. There we go. It's gonna get covered up by his war paint anyway. Gonna give these guys blue war paint. Or if they're already wearing something like on their head, like this dude who's got the bandana there, he's gonna have a blue bandana. The ones with nothing on their head, they're gonna get blue war paint.
Unfortunately, yes. I can take plasma pistols in the same configuration.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said you should look at getting plasma pistols, because that's the way to go with assault weapons.
Hey, these aren't assault marines. They're actually good.
Assault marines are good. In fact, actually, regular assault marines can take thunderhammers and storm shields, which is awesome now.
1 per squad.
I know, but still, that means that he's acting as a buffer for the rest of the unit till he dies, heroically in battle, like a space marine should do.
I've always held to the belief that assault marines are the second worst unit in the Marine Codex.
No, I don't agree. Assault Marines have their place. They can be good. You just need to kit them out and play them properly. Plus, they're the only unit for Space Marines that get Eviscerators. And Eviscerators are always good.
Again, one per squad.
Yeah, put it on the Sergeant.
Isn't the Sergeant already taking Sergeant weapons?
Nah.
You know, like a power sword.
Power Fist would probably be better, but...
Fair enough.
I'll say my whole thing about Assault Marines, and the reason why I personally don't take them, is because Blood Angels get Assault Marines only better with Death Company.
Yeah. During a quick bit of curiosity into Death Company, I realized that though they can't take Lightning Claws, Power Swords are fair game.
Yes. So are Thunderhammers.
Thunderhammer's too expensive.
It is.
Though one or two in a large mob just hiding out.
Yeah, I'll say that's the whole point. You take like one or two. I only am going to be taking one in mine, but the major things that I take in my Death Company is I take Inferno Pistols and Chainswords. I've got 2 Inferno Pistols and a shit ton of Chainswords, mainly because I'm trying to maximize on the number of attacks. You can do other things like the Blood Angel Universal to get to drive your roll to wound lower, and stuff like that to really synergize with your army really well. So the Blood Angels don't really need to worry too much about things like strength. The only thing that really helps the Blood Angels is AP. You can get some AP in a Blood Angels list, then you are golden.
10 Death Company with Power Swords?
Yes, that's one way to do it. I personally like the Chainsword idea because you can maximize on that with your Assault Doctrine. And you get a shit ton of attacks. It's just that Blood Angels really do play the delay game. They have to weather the storm for 3 turns, and then they unleash the fury.
Meanwhile, my wolves are spending those first 2 turns positioning themselves.
Well, I'll say it's hard to deny the Blood Angels getting in to where they need to go, especially when you take as many jump packs as I do.
Yeah, that's the big thing with the Blood Angels. They can all go jumpy.
Mm-hmm. Death Company jump packs, Sanguinary Guard jump packs, Captain Smashfucker jump pack, Lieutenant jump pack, Chaplain jump pack,
Librarian jump pack.
Yeah, I say I don't have my Librarian currently doesn't have a jump pack, but then again he doesn't need it. I can save 20 points by taking the Psychic Power Wings of Sanguinius, which in effect gives me a jump pack.
Yes.
What's even better than that, though, is that you can take that Psychic Power on a Librarian Dreadnought. I love my flying Dreadnoughts.
I can perfectly understand why.
I say I really need to get that model. That's, that might be a good model to invest in, is to get a Librarian Dreadnought, because I actually don't have a Librarian Dreadnought. It's the one Dreadnought type that Games Workshop makes, not Forge World, that I don't have that I want. I've got 2 Furiosos with Furioso Fists. I've got a regular Dreadnought. I've got a Redemptor. Yeah, the one I don't have that I want is a Librarian. Which is okay, because that's not an Elite's choice, that's an HQ. I'm sick of being overwhelmed with Elite's choice options with my Blood Angels. It sucks.
I'm sort of feeling the same way with Wolves Them Fast Attack.
Well, okay, you were talking about fast attack. Let's talk about my orcs.
Nope.
I'm pissed about the fact that the speed freaks aren't like a universal choice option. That I can mix and match my buggies. I really wish I could. That would be really good. But Games Workshop didn't do it that way. Each one is its own individual choice, so you can only ever have, if you take nothing but buggies, 3 of the 6 different buggies. At least in one detachment.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. I want one of each. I love the models. They're so cool. That's partly a reason why I even started the orcs in the first place, is because I love the buggy models.
So you can only really have just 3 on the field at a time?
Currently, yeah. Unless I take what are called detachments. Unless I take an extra detachment. But that puts me at a tactical disadvantage because I have to spend more command points to take an additional detachment. So when it comes down to it, I have to try and... Now, don't get me wrong, you can take more than one of any one buggy in that one choice. So taking like one custom Boostablasta, I could take up to 3 custom Boostablastas for only one custom Boostablasta choice. It's just that they all have to be custom Boostablastas. You can't have each individual one unless you take 2 detachments. Minimum. But even then, if I take one of every buggy, I can't take my bikes. Oh, woe is the life of the speed freak.
Yes.
All right, I think it's time to glue and pin here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix together our epoxy putty. So it's all nice and mixed. Now it's funny. This stuff. If you look at it here, it's coming off of my fingers a little bit. It's a little flaky. When this stuff hardens, it hardens like a fucking rock. Hardens like cement, which is awesome. And it makes it really, really good for filling gaps, which is what I'm going to be using it for. So I need to get my glue ready. Get my brushes out of the way. Base and my Weirdboy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take little bits and just kind of put them on the underside of this wheel section here, because when I squish him down in after I glue him, I'm hoping this will all fill the gap. And I think the big gap is going to be right here. Okay. I think that's going to be good. So, we're going to take this. Now, this is just regular cyanoacrylate super glue. And we're gonna line up here and go down into the base. Oh, okay, there is a little bit of a gap here at the back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit more of this. Squish it down. Where's my knife? Where's my knife? Holy shit. Where the fuck did I put my knife? Thought it was over here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Surgically cut all that out. Yeah, like that. Okay. And just kind of try to stuff it in under the wheel. So this is I think the first time I've ever done any actual modeling work on the channel. And this is different than painting, so to speak. This isn't necessarily model assembly, but it's not painting either.
Nonetheless, it's important.
Very. Doing this will give the model a lot of structure too. I only really glued on the peg up here on the top, but to try and further cement that, what I will do, as you can see here, I still have quite a lot of putty left. I need to just kind of mold that a little bit so it looks like it's part of the wheel. And then I'm going to take some of this extra putty. I'm actually going to plug up the bottom of that hole to try and give the peg where it was glued a lot more of a solid base. Because again, when this stuff hardens, it hardens like a fucking rock. So it's going to be solid as shit when it's done, which is kind of the point. The only problem is that it does take quite a while to harden. That's it sucks, but alright, so now we're gonna go like this. Now I put in a pin in his foot here on this side, so doing this I'm actually putting in or filling in this area around the pin with the putty, which gives it support and holds that pin in place, which is kind of what I was going for. The problem is that I need to fill in the hole all the way up to a point, and then I need to level it out on the top side of the model. So let's smooth out there on the underside, and then check on the top. There we go. You can see a little bit here. This is where that was what I was just putting through, was squishing through. So we'll just even it out. And there we go. I think that's good. So one thing that I am going to do too to try and just help everything out is I will put some glue actually down on the areas that have this epoxy putty. It's just to try and give it a little bit more extra protection and hold it in place while it all hardens. Now, this is super glue, so it probably will frost, so I'll need to do some correction as soon as it hardens, but that shouldn't be hard anyway. I still have the other grot to glue in, so there we go. He is based. So now I just need to give him a little bit more ink, I think, up here at the top, glue him in, and then paint the base. And with that, I'll do that all off stream. But yes, thank y'all for coming out. Hope you had a good time seeing a little bit more of the hobby than just the painting side. And yeah, here we go. I was just gonna try and turn him over so you can kind of see what he is. I think he turned out pretty good. I like him. He's gonna look pretty awesome next to all of my other works. So yes, stay tuned. I am gonna see about trying to do a crusade on my channel eventually, which is a big long narrative campaign of 40k. I think it'll be really fun. So yeah. Other than that, yeah, I think it's about time to call it. We've been going for a while. Thank you all for coming out. We've been your Minions of the Zoo. And be sure to check out tomorrow night where Skep Tock is the host. And yeah. Take care, everyone. Zoo's closed.
No.
Night.